Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for another news update video because a fair few interesting things happened yesterday that we're going to talk about today. But before getting into that, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're still on our way to 100,000 subscribers and we want to hit that. We want to reach that as soon as possible. So if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. And if you've watched our videos in the past and actually watched them quite regularly but never subscribe, please do subscribe. That'd be great. And also drop a like on this video. That'd be absolutely sick as well. But enough waffling and let's just get into the content, the talking points of today. Because N'Golo Kante yesterday missed training and was given permission by Frank Lampard and the board basically, or just the club, to miss training over fears of the current situation. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm now allowed to say these words or whether they still demonetize us, but you know what I'm talking about. He's apparently, and that's what the report suggests, he has some fears about the safety of everything that is going on, of the safety of training. And then he was allowed to miss yesterday's training after the squad, for the first time in 2 months, returned to training on Monday or Tuesday, whichever it was, when they returned to training for the first time. But yesterday, N'Golo Kante missed training, was given permission to miss training. At the moment, it is, at least to me, unsure, or I'm unclear whether or if he will return to back to training at some point, or if he's gonna not train indefinitely until things change drastically, whether the regulations or the situation. I don't know at this moment in time. I just know that he missed training yesterday and was allowed to do so over those fears. Of course, there is a bit of a history of heart problems in N'Golo Kante's family. Lost his father to it, if I'm not mistaken. His brother passed away shortly after the 2018 World Cup from a heart attack, and Kante himself even had a weird health scare that was thought to be a heart problem. I think around March time of 2018, when he just collapsed in a dressing room. Plenty of tests were done on him and nothing was found to be wrong with his heart, but that was a bit of a weird situation, and maybe that's kind of making him a bit more hesitant to take part in training under the current restrictions. Of course, safe distance is being kept in the training that now the Premier League clubs do participate in, I guess. There's no tackling and anything going on, if that makes sense. And he did come in for training for the first day or two. And then he kind of basically asked for, can I not train because I don't think this is safe, basically. So from the sounds of it, and I don't want to, put a bad light on Chelsea or the training staff or anything, but either the restrictions weren't fully, stuck to by Chelsea and the safe distance wasn't really stuck to as well as it should have been, or he has decided, once seeing it firsthand, that he doesn't think the restrictions are strong enough, good enough, or whatever, and he doesn't think it's that safe. I think it's a very difficult thing to. I'm not unsure what to make of it. Obviously, the Bundesliga has already restarted. I didn't hear about any players in the Bundesliga that actually didn't play because they were scared. I didn't hear of any of that. Might have happened, but I didn't hear about it. And also in Italy and Spain, they've been back in training for a few days or a couple of weeks now already. Small, small group training, like it is in England now with social distancing, not full training, but still. And I personally, at least, but I didn't look into it in particular depth, didn't hear of any reports of players refusing to train. So I think it's interesting because he isn't the first guy in England to not want to train. For example, Watford's Troy Deeney doesn't want to train because he's concerned about the health of his 5-month-old son. Not sure if his 5-month-old son has any health concerns, but that's apparently what he's kind of a bit worried about, hence why he doesn't want to go train now in this current situation. So again, I'm unsure. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because if more and more players don't want to train, and if they don't want to train, they definitely don't want to play unless the general situation, well, in the respective countries, just in England in this case, just changed drastically. Whether they will do that, to some extent, yes, of course, probably go to similar levels as Germany, Austria, and whatever else are in eventually. But if they still don't think it's safe enough at that point, then what do you do? Because if many players decide to not want to play, can you even continue the league, basically, which currently most certainly is the plan. The current spoken about date is the 26th of June. Initially it was the 9th. Well, initially it was the 12th and the 19th, and now it's the 26th. Let's see whether it's going to be pushed back even more. We'll see about it. Like I said, I'm not going to put judgment on N'Golo Kante making this decision. Not at all. Everyone has their right to this decision. I'm just surprised in a sense of that after the Bundesliga started, I thought that would put everyone at ease, everyone around the world, for training and playing. It works in the Bundesliga. Okay, you have to wait a little bit if you see this as any spikes of, again, not sure how to word it, but you know what I mean, patience. I guess we have to wait a little bit longer for that, but you know, it gave me a feeling of, okay, the Bundesliga is back. If the Bundesliga is back, everyone can be back eventually once their countries are in a good enough state, that if that makes sense. So, you know, it surprised me a little bit, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that moves on. Leave me your thoughts on the whole situation, on, you know, N'Golo Kante's, I guess, decision down in the comment section below, and also, you know, what you think. Will he just come back eventually? Will he just not want to train and play? What's the situation? Leave me your thoughts on that. And also then the two other, I guess, bigger stories that came out yesterday was contract extensions confirmed for both Willy Caballero and Olivier Giroud. On Olivier Giroud, we had an option to extend his contract. This was confirmed, or well, reported on and pretty much confirmed a while back already, but only made official by the club yesterday, as well as with Willy Caballero. I'm a fan of both of those decisions, I guess, to, you know, extend their contract. You know, who knows how the summer transfer market is going to go? Who knows how much money we're going to want to spend and be able to spend, and what kind of players are going to be available. So making sure we tie the players down and have them available for the next season, in my opinion, is very, very important. Olivier Giroud certainly proved to be an important asset when we do need him towards the latter stages of the season, before obviously everything stopped. So you know, that is very good. I still don't see him as a particularly great striker. I don't want him to be a starting striker by any means, but I think as an option to have him around in the squad, I think he's very, very good. So I'm happy with it. And the same goes for Willy Caballero. You know my stance on it. I want Kepa to stay unless we can sign someone like Oblak or Ter Stegen, but we're not going to be able to sign any of those. And I think Willy Caballero is a pretty decent backup goalkeeper. There's of course been talk about Onana as either replacing Kepa or being backup to Kepa, and they're just fighting it out for the first spot. Kepa is our record signing. He cost us 80 million or 70 million or whatever he cost us in pounds. 80 million euros, 70 million pounds. We're not going to just get rid of him, because we're not going to get anywhere near that much money for him now, because the only reason we had to spend so much was because that was his release clause at Athletic Bilbao. So, you know, we're not just going to get rid of him, and we're not going to buy another 30, 35, 40 million goalkeeper in Onana to then possibly not start him or not start Kepa. That'd be pointless. So, you know, I'm also a fan of the situation with Willy Caballero. I don't want him to start games like he did for a few games not long before, you know, obviously everything was stopped. No games, you know, were played anymore. I don't want that to happen again. I don't think that's the best move, but I think it's a decent enough backup keeper if Kepa ever gets injured, or, you know, for rotational purposes in a League Cup, FA Cup, whatever else. I think it's good, so I'm generally quite happy with it. But other than that, I don't think there's any big news. Of course, there's always small and minor transfer talks, but at the moment, the big story is back to training now. Very happy. N'Golo Kante has now hair. Now doesn't do training anymore. Maybe he just needed a haircut, and that's why he missed training. Who knows? Obviously, I'm joking. Jorginho looks like a bloody Neanderthal with a massive beard. So that's quite funny, but it's just great to see the lads back in training. It made me happier than I thought it would when I saw the first pictures come out of training. It made me a lot happier than I thought it would, actually. So that's brilliant, but the main topic, of course, is now being back in training, going back to full training eventually, hopefully, and then going back to playing, hopefully, probably finishing the season off. That's obviously the main focus right now, rather than transfers, because, you know, who knows how much anyone is going to be able to spend, basically. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it here. I think that was enough to talk about. Like I said already, leave me your thoughts on everything that I mentioned down in the comment section below. Subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. Like I said in the beginning, please help us get and reach our target of 100,000 subscribers. So if you're new here, if you enjoy our content, please subscribe. That'd be brilliant. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see ya when I see ya.